are loads to talk about, but of course our focus on SportsX today will be on Sourav Ganguly, the president-elect of the BCCI. And to talk more about this with me in the studio is senior sports journalist Harpal Singh Bedi and sports expert Ninad Sheth as well. We'll get to you gentlemen, but first up, the newly elected BCCI chief Sourav Ganguly will hold a crucial meeting with the Indian team selectors. Indian coach Ravi Shastri, who is said to have a bitter relationship with Ganguly, won't be present for this meeting as per the new guidelines and constitution. Ganguly will also seek clarity on Dhoni's future in this particular meeting. Ganguly has said that he will speak to Dhoni to understand what's going on in his mind. Ganguly has also asked Virat Kohli to focus on winning ICC tournaments and not bilateral series, urging him to solve the mental problems the Indian team faces in the knockout tournaments. So as Ganguly gets to work, is this an indication of the beginning of Dada's wave across Indian cricket? Is it time for Indian cricket to brace itself for a change like never before? Let's see what our guests have to say about this. Harpal Singh Bedi, let's begin with you. Sourav Ganguly is in fact going to attend that meeting on the 23rd of October, but he's already categorically sent messages not only to the captain, to the coach, but to the entire fraternity that he's going to in fact be looking at business and how to run it.
The very first day I told you, I was not...
Your prophecy has come true.
It is a simple thing. He would not have become otherwise. He knows how to work and he is a very authoritative man, first of all. And he has made it very clear. It is a political message, man. If that we come to think about it. Politically, not a political sense, but otherwise, he sent 3 messages to look here that it means business. This 2-man rule is over, Shastri and Virat Kohli, which is, they were running the rules. This is over. You are doing well, you will do well. If you are not doing well, you will be asked why you are not doing well. And this, he has not been impressed by the bilateral series victory. This is made very clear that we have been doing well, but 7 titles we have not won. That he need not have.
So he's focused on that.
He made it very pointed reference that we have been winning, we have been doing very well, we are doing this, we are doing that, we are not. And Dhoni he brought in because Dhoni at the moment is neither here nor there. So he wants to finish it off at this agenda. Every time people like us who are another work to say what about Dhoni? So he wants to finish it off. He wants to play, he will have to play for Jharkhand and others. So first of all, his agenda is very clear, which I told you very first day. He will use his authority, and which he has used it. He has sent 3 clear messages to Virat Kohli, start winning the tournaments. It is very interesting that after winning 23 matches, straightway at home.
On the trot, yes.
On the trot. Still, if a president is not satisfied, he is not a president like Srinivasan. He is a cricket player himself. He knows how it is. Second thing, when the meeting is there, Ravi Shastri is there. So rules will be brought in. It is nothing great, but it is great given the scenario for the last 3 years. It is Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli who are ruling the rules. And about Dhoni, nobody could talk about Dhoni. So let him decide. He said, I will decide. You tell me what are you going to do.
Right. Nidad, in fact, he's made it categorically clear that he will speak to Virat Kohli about our abject failure to win any of the ICC tournaments, and bilateral series is something that we've been winning very proficiently, but it's the ICC tournaments where India has been found wanting. So, Sourav Ganguly, in fact, giving a clear message over there that he also wants to be part of the day-to-day selection process. And like Mr. Bedi has also been reaffirming in the past and today also, that so far it's been a 2-man show. Do you think all that is set to change?
I think all that is already changed. Ganguly, to give a cricketing metaphor, is batting like Sehwag, hitting the ball on the up from the first ball onwards. What it essentially indicates, I think, are 3 things, very important 3 things in my opinion. One, that he has been given a long rope. That second, his style of captaincy will be reflected in his style of administrative leadership. So you will see some very hard decisions being taken. And third, I think beyond the cricketing world, Indian cricketing world, this also will have an impact. Bear in mind on the world cricketing scenario.
So? How
because we, as you are aware, I think there's a creeping, creeping white man's burden coming back with the English and the Australian Cricketing Board trying to reassert their primacy, through imposing tournaments and so forth, which India may not take kindly. 70% of revenue we generate, and you know, this creeping control that the world cricketing bodies want to take over. So I think these are the things he will confront head on. The good thing is that he's a test cricketer. He knows what it takes. You know, he's not a sort of a, how does one say, armchair expert or a politician in the seat. So for the first time, you have a long time a cricketer who understands the game, a cricketer who you know, we can never forget what he did at Lords after winning that famous trophy.
Are you saying that there is perhaps going to be some interference when it comes to daily activities within the Indian camp, because he himself is a player, so there will be a thing or two he would want the team also to abide by?
I think the very fact that he mentioned the ICC tournaments seems to point to that direction. You know, I personally would be very glad to make a prophecy here. I think we may see a rotational kind of cricketing team. We may see different players for
different formats
overseas, and we may not use our fast bowlers like Bumrah too much in India. So there are some radical changes.
But we're already doing that. We are using Bumrah very sparingly.
We may see some dramatic changes.
These two countries will be part of India. England and Australia. This is what Srinivasan formula was. They cannot do. If they don't, India does not stand. So what is Sourav Ganguly? That we need more money because it is our right. That was the formula, top three, which was Srinivasan formula. Australia, England and India. These three countries have to be there. He's not going to, if he is challenging them.
But that's the macro picture that he's focusing on. I'm talking about Srinivasan never actually went down to say that, why isn't Dhoni winning ICC tournaments?
Dhoni was his adopted son. Remember that. And what do you mean? Mahendra Ramana had to resign. When he wanted to change, see, asserting, every president asserts when Jagmohan Dalmia asserted when he was there. So, but he is going to assert as a player. This is the first day I said, and Deep Dasgupta is here, I am very happy he will see. That very first day I told him, he is going to be very assertive as far as the cricket is concerned. He is not bothered about where his match is going to be played, whether Ranchi or Meerut. He will be more interested how cricketers behave.
All right. In fact, Deep Dasgupta, former India player, also joins us. Deep Das, thank you for joining us. Always bright as the sun. We are talking about Sourav Ganguly, somebody you're close to, somebody you know very well. Now, we've already seen since the time he's been elected, or rather slated to be the BCCI president, he's made out a few statements which are indicative, if not the least, of the fact that how he plans to run the board. He's already hinted out that he wants to speak to Virat Kohli about our abject failure to win any ICC tournaments. He also said that I will solve the conundrum around MSD's retirement. And, a few other, in fact, messages which have been drawn up by Ganguly are very focused and very determined in nature.
Oh, that's true. That's what you expect, actually, from Sourav as well, apart from getting this whole BCCI, the new constitution, everything back in place and run like it used to be, like the BCCI normal office bearers would. So that is one. Apart from that, obviously, as Mr. Bedi had mentioned before, there will be, as a player, obviously you will speak to different things. But having said that, I mean, if you're telling me that none of the presidents ever before have had a chat with a captain, that is also not fair. If you're telling me that he goes and speaks to MS Dhoni and MS Dhoni says, I'll see what I want to do, I'm not too sure now. So, I mean, listen, this is all good. We'll see how it pans out because obviously, Sourav there, because the stature is different. You don't look at Sourav only when he becomes the president, when he's president-elect now. You don't only look at him as the president of BCCI, also look at him as a legend of the game. So you also look at him as an ex-cricketer. So obviously both these things will carry its own weight. And a president, a normal president asking a question would be different from Sourav Ganguly, the president, asking the question. I mean, obviously there will be a difference there. There's no two ways about it.
What did you make of him, in fact, calling out Virat Kohli and saying that he will have a chat about, our inability to do much in ICC tournaments?
Listen, we haven't won one. That I accept. 2013 was the last ICC tournament that India won. It's been 6 years rather, and we've played at least the semi-finals of every ICC tournament. To say that we have not done well, which is, that just tells you how much you expect from the Indian team, which is also fair. But we've done all right. Yes, we should have won at least one in the last 6 years. which is a fair call. But yes, I mean, listen, there is nothing much a president can do apart from providing the team what they want. If Virat or Ravi or the team management would want something, that's the most that a president can do. So it's not that he's got a magic wand and he's going to, move it around and India's going to win an ICC trophy. At the end of the day, it's the players who's going to go out there on the field and win it. So yes, what the president and the other office bearers will do or can and should do is create that environment where the team has what it wants. And that's, I think, what will happen, because the other important aspect is, yes, I mean, Ganguly being the legend that he is and obviously one of the most successful captains, he also understands what is required to be there and to be successful.
Right, Ninad, and also there is this going to be this topic of MS Dhoni and the kind of, for a lack of a better word, autonomy he's enjoyed after that semi-final exit against New Zealand. He's decided and practically chosen which tournaments he wants to play. Do you think this kind of an autonomy also sends the wrong message to other players?
I'm not sure. I mean, look, MS Dhoni...
And that is something that Dada perhaps would want to fix as well.
MS Dhoni so far has been MS Dhoni. I mean, he is probably, arguably, the most popular cricketer in India. Probably, some say, for Generation X, even more popular than Sachin Tendulkar. But does popularity, give you a license? I'm not sure if Sourav Ganguly likes licenses. I think there is going to be de-licensing. License Raj is probably going to go away in Sourav Ganguly's tenure. I think there's going to be some, as I said, some hard decisions being taken. I think that, maybe he will be given a farewell match. I don't know how you engineer that, because these are sensitive things. Or maybe he will just be given a farewell. So, I think that, that's the toss-up between a farewell and a farewell match. It's going to be a very difficult thing, but if anyone can take that decision, I think Sourav Ganguly.
But I won't agree with you, for example, that he is deciding. He never decides.
You don't agree with
he's not deciding. He said, I will not play. He never said, pick me up. Remember, don't blame him. He may be a hero, but he never said, you pick me up. He said, I will not play. I'm going for training. I'm not available for this tournament. I'm not available for this.
So it's pick and choose.
It is up to him, now up to the selectors. See, the question is, it is a team game. It is not an individual game. He said, I will not be available for this. He is not available for test matches. He is not available. So now it is up to the selection committee to decide whether he is in form, whether Saha has to be removed.
But
so why to blame him? See, he never said, okay, I'm automatic now. Suddenly one day he'll say, okay, I'm coming back and drop Saha. No. And Saha, it will be very difficult for any selector or any president to remove Saha at the moment. Forget about Ganguly. He's not, forget that he's a Bengali. Saha, the way he has performed behind the stumps, incredible.
Yep.
So he's a very modest wicketkeeper.
Correct.
Not given to the Shoshabazi.
Right.
So it will be very difficult. He has established himself. So to blame Dhoni that he picked and choose this is wrong. If he is able to pick and choose and you dismiss the selection committee, they are earning so much money. So give a credit to the man. He said, I will not be playing. Anybody will not be playing. Rest, when he says, I'm ready, let them say he's in form, whether they will test him or not.
Ninad,
just one very short comment. There is an emotional angle here. You have to understand that there is that farewell match angle. It is not very easy to brush it apart. It's going to be a difficult decision. So I don't know how that will be taken.
How many people remember Bumrah at the moment when you are winning? Suppose tomorrow in 5-6 series, Dhoni not played. He not played. This is a world, a very harsh world. Sports is a very cruel leveler.
Sure.
Once you are winning, nobody bothers.
Sure. And Deep, Sourav Dada in fact made it very categorical that his focus, besides the obvious problems that persist in Indian cricket, is going to be on first-class cricket. The system has to be fixed. The volunteering element of some of the seniors who have, been playing for India, their unavailability also is perhaps also something that has come up, many times, be it Virat Kohli for Delhi or other players from Maharashtra and other states, MS Dhoni for Ranchi. That is something that Sourav Ganguly has also vowed to address. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, quickly just going back to Mr. Bedi, what he mentioned, I think it's just confusing with T20 one days. Anyways, MS Dhoni is not going to replace Saha because he's retired from this format. And MS Dhoni is some guy who does not believe in a retirement or a benefit match kind of a thing. And I think we are being a little unfair on the selectors. How do we know that the selectors have kept MS Dhoni in their plans as of now for 2020 World Cup? I mean, because I mean, listen, whatever the signals that I'm getting is they're looking at the next generation. So I think they've made their intentions pretty clear. I think we just we just get carried away with names here just because the selectors aren't 100 test matches. I mean, let's not be unfair to them. They've been very, very good, and I think they've handled this Dhoni situation pretty well. You can't really force somebody to retire, so it will be depending on MS Dhoni when he wants to retire, but he hasn't been picked post the World Cup. Quickly to the first class question that you asked me, I think it is imperative. It is imperative for long-term success of Indian cricket that the first class cricketers are looked after predominantly financially. If you want to keep the red ball kind of domination going and make it more dominant, the Indian team in red ball cricket, you will have to focus on first class, because a lot of, I'm talking about grassroots level. You look at a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, they prefer playing white ball than red ball, especially T20 format. And that's where I think there has to be some kind of a parity financially for the players who are slogging it out for 6 months playing Ranji Trophy, Vijay Hazare, Syed Mushtaq Ali, as compared to people who only want to play IPL. There's nothing wrong in it, but there has to be some kind of parity between IPL and other domestic tournaments that are played right through the year. And as far as you mentioned about, I think it should be made mandatory. And I've been saying this for the last 1 year. Obviously, I'm saying it, so it won't matter that much. But I've been saying it for the last 1 year. Anyone who's not playing all three formats, for him to play first-class cricket should be, or rather domestic cricket should be mandatory. If you're playing all three formats, I understand you need rest, you need time off the sport as well. But if you're not playing all three formats, you have to, and you should be made mandatory that you have to play domestic.
Right. Now then, what is your take on the fact that there has to be some parity when it comes to selection? There has to be parity when it comes to, playing the IPL. You represent yourself, you represent your states, in the country. But there are guys who never get chances. There are guys who get all the chances in the domestic circuit but never get to represent, the Indian team in totality. And that is also something we spoke with Mr. Bedi the last time he was around.
Well, I think, look, it's I consider it the toughest lottery in the world. And, the numbers are, your talent is your lucky number. But, I mean, 1.3 billion cricket mad people and 11 to 13 people in the end. So it is a very harsh competition. It's probably the harshest thing in the world. I cannot think of any other, in terms of just numbers, sheer numbers, 1.3 billion people, almost everybody mad about cricket. I think what does shine out is in fact quite the reverse, that so much talent still comes through. So I think there are positives to focus on. His being a cricketer itself is the biggest positive. It changes the mindset, it changes the allocation of funds, it changes everything from the other side, not from the administrative side, but from the game. So I think that I think good days are ahead for Indian cricket. I think we should give Sourav Ganguly a little bit of time. He's being a cricketer, his emphasis on first-class cricket. He's making the right noises, and I think that he will have the support of the board. So I think some positives is something Indian cricket can look forward to.
Well, he also spoke of the importance of pink ball cricket in the future as well, and how India and Indian cricketers perhaps have to evolve to that, Mr. Bedi.
Yesterday, there were a lot of questions asked him at the airport whether this ball will be played or that ball will be played, and he said, as the will be played because they are very comfortable. So he knows his cricket, whatever. He knows what he's talking about. One thing is there about millions of people playing cricket. Not everybody wants to play test cricket, rest be sure. But not everybody. It is a big thing. Talking on the TV is good. I give my blood for country. No, they want money. If you are playing a modest, good cricket, even if you are selected for Ranji Trophy, your career is made. At least they want that reward to be given. That they be selected. Let there be honest selection in Ranji Trophy. Let there be decent selection in Dilip Trophy. Let there be decent selection in Vijay Hazare. So at least their home and hearth is working out. See, that is it also. It's not everybody can't play anywhere in the world. Even if you have 20,000 people, you can't get everybody play. Nobody can play, and nobody has this. Some play IPL, but the major concern and major protest or major anguish of the player is they do not get a chance even in the Ranji Trophy. You see how the teams are being formed, and there is so much of allegations. So much of allegation that in North East now the new states have been, the state union have been, that selectors are demanding money. Give us the money. So people give them money. File actually whether it is true or not, but this allegation started. And so many players are rotting outside, languishing, they're crying. That give us a chance. Not that everybody wants to play India, and nobody, everybody cannot play for India, but at least they can play for Ranji Trophy. These are local tournaments which can provide you substance. There is much of money in Indian cricket. So why not let them get, if they are Everybody knows from you don't need a great expert or a great cricketer to know. Everybody cannot be selected. Even if you score every match, you score a century, you may not get a chance in Indian team.
Right.
But at least you get a chance in Ranji Trophy. That is the honest selection at the grassroots level. That is very important because this is blackmailing system has started now. The people know the coaches and these so-called academies. They have started making huge money and they are blackmailing those innocent people. If you give them money
for a promise to let them.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.